The station's videotape archives contain only brief glimpses of old KOAM newscasts and newscasters and date back only to the late 1970s. It seemed the 25 years of KOAM newscasts prior to that were preserved only in photographs and memories.
Melody Matinee was shot here too, on this end.
Right on this end.
Right here, yeah.
Merle Allen has plenty of memories. He worked on a variety of programs in this studio in the 1960s, but his primary job was as a newsman.
But it was right here. This, right there is where the desk was.
The News Desk. This newly discovered home movie, shot in 1963, gives us our earliest known moving images of KOAM News. That's noon anchor Don Blythe. That plaque, a reminder that the Joplin Globe was a part owner of the station then. That bookcase backdrop was just painted fabric. The crew would pull a curtain in front of it to create an even simpler set for the Farm Market Report from Harold Glenn Pendleton.
This corner was where the weather was, and with the weather map that we saw.
This tiny space was enough for a young Jim Hollis to give his weather forecast. Hollis would later move on to a long Hall of Fame career as a news anchor at WIBW in Topeka. But on this day in 1963, the tool of his trade was a grease pencil.
Well, it was simple, and it told the story, but it was relevant on how well you could draw, and I could draw horribly.
The 1963 control room was only a bit more high-tech. The director shielding his eyes from the camera lights is that same Jim Hollis. It was common in those days for KOAM on-air news employees to also direct the entertainment shows. They all made a promise to the four states to make local news coverage the station's highest priority.
It was so meaningful, it was so important. This station was people's link to the world. I can still feel it. It was a very big responsibility.
People in the TV news business accept that their product expires as it's created and must be replenished every day. The only constant is the commitment, passed on for generations, as enduring as the silent images preserved on the lost reels. A tree and tinsel, piles of presents, a fancy feast. The vast majority of the footage on the lost reels shows scenes like this from KOAM employee Christmas parties, several of them dating from the late 1960s all the way back to 1956. We showed the film to Joanna Freeman, the widow of longtime on-air personality Tom Freeman. That's Joanna there with the snowflake brooch.
Oh, there's Kathy.
That's Kathy?
Our daughter. Mm-hmm. And there's Tom, of course, supervising.
We showed the film to former KOAM musician Virgil Glenn, who was also there.
Them people was splendid people. They was all good people.
The films give us glimpses into their time, the June Cleaver world of aprons and pearls, and after-dinner cigars, and pin-up girls, one of a number of gag gifts, punchlines, we suppose, to inside jokes we no longer know.
Does anybody have the correct time?
That was the voice of Jack Lawrence, the engineer who shot these home movies, coaxing his colleagues to show off their new Christmas watches. Someone else apparently picked up the camera too, long enough to catch some shots of Jack himself. We showed the film to Jack's daughter, Jackie Steinbauer. She was just a child at the time, but she remembers the parties herself.
Yeah, all the kids were always invited. We used to run the halls.
Is that
down
right?
there, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What I liked about it is wonderful people to work for and work with.
Well, we were just one big family.
It was more than just working at a station. So yes, it was a family thing.
They were family. All good people.
Time often seems too short, as it must have been for this party. After all, there was only one studio. They'd have to clear out the tables in time for the next cooking show, or children's show, or music show, or newscast. There would always be a next newscast. Maybe that's why they all pitched in to clear everything away. Too quickly, they had to move on. But they left something behind. rediscovered by us, a bit of themselves on the Lost Reels.